If you've tried to lose weight before and it didn't work, it probably wasn't because you were lazy. It was probably because your plan was too complicated. Because every time you try to learn how to lose weight, the internet turns into a very loud group project where everyone is confident, everyone disagrees, and somehow someone is trying to sell you a powder. One person says you need keto, another says you need fasting, another says you need to stop eating carbs. Another says carbs are fine, but only if you eat them while facing north during a full moon. And now you're sitting there thinking, I just wanted to lose a little weight. Why does this feel like studying for a nutrition law degree? So let's make this simple. I'll walk you through what actually matters for losing weight, why most people get stuck even when they know what to do, and a little later, I'll give you 3 simple beginner steps you can actually start with today. Not 20 tips, and not a spreadsheet that looks like it belongs to a NASA intern. Just 3 simple steps. Because losing weight does not need to be confusing. You don't need to become a fitness influencer, you don't need to meal prep 46 identical boxes of chicken and rice, and you definitely don't need to punish yourself because you ate a cookie. You just need to understand the basics and then make those basics easy enough to repeat. So let's start at the beginning. Most people think losing weight is only about diet and exercise, and yes, food matters, movement matters, sleep matters. But the biggest part is this: actually doing what you said you would do. That sounds simple, but honestly, that is where most people get stuck. Because almost everyone has had that moment where they suddenly feel inspired. Maybe you see a photo of yourself and think, oh, okay, the camera did not have to be that honest. Or you see someone else getting in shape, and suddenly you're ready to change your entire life at 11:43 p.m. You start making plans. Tomorrow you will eat clean. Tomorrow you will walk more. Tomorrow you will drink more water. Tomorrow you will become a completely new person who somehow enjoys vegetables. And for one day, maybe it works. But then life happens. You get tired, you get hungry, someone brings snacks, and suddenly your new lifestyle is fighting for its life against a muffin. This is why motivation is not enough. Motivation is like a phone battery at 3%. It can help for a moment, but you should not build your entire life around it. A good weight loss plan should not depend on you being perfectly motivated every day. It should be simple enough that you can still follow it when you are busy, when you are tired, when you are stressed, or when your brain starts whispering, maybe we should just start again on Monday. No, we are not giving Monday that much power. Now let's talk about what actually causes weight loss. At the most basic level, weight loss happens when your body uses more energy than you eat. That is called a calorie deficit. I know the phrase calorie deficit sounds like something a personal trainer says while holding a clipboard and judging your sandwich. But the idea is actually simple. Your body needs energy every day, and food gives your body that energy. If you consistently give your body a little less energy than it uses, your body has to get the extra energy from somewhere. And that somewhere is stored body fat. That's it. No magic, no secret, no ancient lemon water ritual discovered by monks with six packs. Just energy in, energy out. But here is the important part. Knowing this does not mean you need to count every calorie for the rest of your life. Some people like tracking calories, and it can be useful. But for a beginner, the goal is not to make weight loss feel like accounting with snacks. The goal is to make better choices easier. Because the real question is not, how do I suffer as much as possible? The real question is, how do I make this simple enough to repeat tomorrow? That is where everything changes. A lot of people make weight loss too complicated too early. They start worrying about the perfect diet. Should I do keto? Should I fast? Should I eat 6 meals a day? Should I stop eating after 7 p.m.? Should I track macros? Should I buy a food scale? Should I do cardio before breakfast while thinking positive thoughts? And look, some of those things can help some people. But if you are just starting, most of that is the roof. And you don't build the roof before the foundation. The foundation is simple. Eat a little better, eat enough protein, move your body every day, sleep well, and don't quit the first time you mess up. That's the foundation. Not perfect, not fancy. But it works, and the best part is you do not need to change everything at once. Actually, please don't. When people try to change everything at once, they usually last about 3 days. Day 1, I am a new person. Day 2, I feel amazing. Day 3, I would trade my family for garlic bread. So instead of changing your whole life overnight, start with 3 simple things. The first beginner step is simple. Drink more water. That's it. Not because water is magic and not because it melts fat. If water melted fat, swimming pools would be illegal. But many people drink a lot of calories without noticing. Soda, juice, sweet coffee drinks, milkshakes, bubble tea. These can add hundreds of calories very quickly. And the problem is, drinks usually do not make you full the same way food does. You can drink a big sugary coffee and still be hungry enough to eat breakfast. That is not a drink. That is dessert wearing a business outfit. So your first step is this: replace high-calorie drinks with water as often as you can. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to become the water person who carries a giant bottle with motivational quotes like "keep going" and "almost there," even though you are just sitting at your desk. Just start drinking more water, especially when you feel snacky, because sometimes you are not actually hungry. Sometimes you are just thirsty or bored or emotionally negotiating with a cookie. Water will not solve your whole life, but it is one of the easiest first changes. The second beginner step is add protein to every meal. Protein is important because it helps you feel full, supports your muscles, and makes weight loss easier to maintain. And no, this does not mean you need to eat like a bodybuilder. You don't need to walk around with a shaker bottle wearing a tank top, saying things like, "Bro, I'm cutting." You can keep it normal. Protein can be eggs, Greek yogurt, chicken, fish, lean meat, beans, lentils, tofu, cottage cheese, or whatever protein source fits your lifestyle. The point is simple. When you eat a meal, ask yourself, where is the protein? Because a meal with very little protein often leaves you hungry again soon. That is when the snack attacks begin. And snack attacks are dangerous because they never introduce themselves honestly. They don't say, "Hello, I am about to add 600 calories to your day." They say, "Just one small bite." And then somehow you wake up surrounded by crumbs like something happened to you. Protein helps because it makes meals more satisfying. So don't start by removing everything. Start by adding something useful. Add protein. That one change can make the whole process feel easier. The third beginner step is walk every day. Not a brutal workout, not a military boot camp, and not a gym routine that requires 12 machines and emotional support. Just walking. Walking is underrated because it does not look dramatic. Nobody posts a slow walk on Instagram with intense music and the caption, "Beast Mode." But walking works because it is simple, low stress, and repeatable. And repeatable matters more than impressive. If you hate running, don't start with running. If the gym scares you, don't start with the gym. Start with a walk. 10 minutes is fine, 20 minutes is better, and 30 minutes is great. But the real goal is not to destroy yourself. The goal is to become the kind of person who moves every day. That is a huge shift. Because when you walk daily, you burn more energy, you build momentum, and you start proving to yourself, "I can actually do this." And that confidence matters. At the beginning, weight loss is not just about burning calories. It is about building trust with yourself again. You said you would go for a walk, and then you did. That may sound small, but small promises repeated over time change your identity. Now, very important, you will mess up. Not maybe. You will. At some point, you will eat more than planned, skip a walk, drink something sugary, or have a day where your balanced meal is whatever was closest to your hand. That does not mean you failed. That means you are a human being, not a meal prep robot. The mistake is not having a bad day. The mistake is turning one bad day into a bad week. A lot of people eat one thing outside their plan and immediately think, "Well, I ruined it." Might as well continue. That is like dropping your phone once and saying, "Well, it has a scratch now. Better throw it into the ocean." No. Just pick it back up. One imperfect meal does not ruin your progress. One missed walk does not ruin your progress. One bad day does not erase everything. The goal is not perfection. The goal is returning to the plan again and again. That is what consistency actually means. Not doing everything perfectly, but not quitting when it gets imperfect. So if you want to start losing weight, don't overcomplicate it. For now, your beginner plan is only 3 things. Drink water instead of high-calorie drinks. Eat protein with every meal. Go for a walk every day. That's it. And if you want a simple checklist for these steps, I made one for you. You can find it in the description. It's a simple weight loss checklist you can print out, put on your fridge, and use as a daily reminder. Nothing complicated, just a small guide to help you stay on track. Do this for 1 week. Not forever, not for the rest of your life, and not as some dramatic new me transformation where you suddenly start calling broccoli beautiful. Just 1 week, because one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is trying to solve the next 5 years of their life before they even start. You don't need to know everything yet. You don't need the perfect diet yet. You don't need the perfect workout yet. You need a simple first step, then another one, then another one. And later you can learn more. You can learn about calories, meal planning, strength training, and how to make healthy food taste better. But today you just need to start. Losing weight is not about hating your body. It is not about punishing yourself. And it is not about becoming perfect. It is about taking care of yourself in a way you can actually continue. You are allowed to start small. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to not know everything yet. And if you have tried before and failed, that does not mean you are bad at losing weight. It probably means your plan was too complicated, too strict, or too difficult to repeat. So this time, make it simple. Drink more water, eat protein with your meals, walk every day, and when you mess up, don't quit. Just come back to the next simple step. And don't forget, if you want the free checklist, just check the description below. It can help you remember the simple steps from this video without overthinking everything. Because weight loss does not start with a perfect plan. It starts with one decision you can repeat. And if nobody has told you this yet, you can do this, and I'll help you.